Welcome back to the Journey to Leadership podcast. Leadership and management insights to engage, educate, and empower. The aim of this podcast is to provide leaders at all levels of organizations with the tactics and techniques to dramatically increase effectiveness, productivity, and results in their business. I am Corey Atkinson, your leadership and performance coach, Vice President of Learning and Development at CSPN. And since these podcasts are for all of you, my listeners, I want to get your thoughts. If you'd like to get insight on a specific topic or situation, ask a question, or give us feedback on what you like or want to hear more of, please let me know. Email me directly at Corey, Corey, at mycspn.com. And also follow me on LinkedIn, Corey Atkinson, as well as the organization CSPN, the Customer Service Professional Network. So let's get started. Today, we're talking about the power of transparency. Quote, authenticity requires vulnerability, and vulnerability is rooted in transparency. The work that I've been doing is showing me that transparency is a workplace demand that can no longer just be used as an adjective. It has to be something that people are living and doing in organizations to really make change. It's kind of things that they realize are actually a two-way street to get results. Karina was a struggling new manager when we met 3 years ago for her leadership development coaching program. The coaching sessions we were going through were going to be a part of a second phase of a multi-year program to change the leadership culture in her organization. I was working with 8 new managers to increase their leadership and management effectiveness through coaching, and Karina was one of them. When Karina and I first met, she was a smart, very capable manager, but had a steep learning curve to do 2 things. One, she wanted to learn how to lead and not do everything on her own, and 2, increase her management effectiveness. So when we sat down for our first meeting, I could see, though, there was going to be some concerns. She didn't look happy, and I asked her, I said, what's going on? And she said, Corey, I don't know if I've got what it takes to be a leader. I'm not really sure if this role is for me. I was quiet for a moment, and then I asked, so what are your options? She bit her lip and said, well, I could step down. I said, yes. And what else could you do? She said, I could keep working at it. Mm-hmm. What else? She stammered, what do you mean, what else? I only see 2 choices. Well, you actually have a third choice, Karina, and one that will make you an incredible leader. And that choice is to be transparent. To be transparent with the director and maybe even with your new team. Now, no sooner were the words out of my mouth that Karina started shaking her head no in disagreement. Corey, I could never do that. What would Jackie think of me? I replied, yes. What might Jackie think of you? Well, that I'm weak or incompetent. Maybe she made a mistake promoting me. I put up my hands subtly to stop her. Now, Karina, I want you to take a moment to notice those words you just said there. What do you mean? Well, are those words empowering or limiting? She shrugged. Limiting, I guess? Exactly. Now, do you think, Karina, it's possible that there are some empowering things that your director might think of you if you're transparent with her? Karina was silent, and then she said, well, she could think that I'm being forthright and honest. I smiled. Yes. And what else could she think? Oh, that I'm clear on my strengths and my weaknesses? Exactly. And I can tell you personally, Karina, that will be exactly what she will think. Karina's director, Jackie, and I were very close, and she was well aware of the strengths and weaknesses of each person on the management team. In setting up the leadership and coaching program for her managers, she'd give me some background on each of them. And regarding Karina, Jackie knew the new role of manager would be putting Karina out of her comfort zone. Fast forward to 3 months ago. I'm in my office on a Friday morning, when I'm going through my notes, when one of my team members lets me know that a Karina is on line 3 for me. I think to myself, Karina D? I pick up the phone and say, is this Karina D calling? Karina laughs. You remember me? Of course I do. How are you? What's happening in your world these days? And then Karina blurts out, Corey, I quit my job 6 months ago, and it was all because of you. You're welcome, I said with a half smile. Karina laughed. No, I'm serious. It really is because of you and teaching me the power of transparency. I was like, really? Tell me more. Well, Corey, as you remember, I was really nervous in my role, but you said I should share my concerns with Jackie back when I first started. And Corey, I did, and I've never looked back. Well, that's great, Karina, but tell me more about quitting your job. Well, you remember I was a senior account management and success officer, and I was working on building my confidence, supporting my team, and because I was getting some early wins, I ended up taking over one of our largest accounts. And Corey, over the last 3 years, I've been able to grow my company's market share with this client from 35% to almost 75%. I said, wow, Karina, that's amazing. She says, I know. And Jackie has been so ecstatic about it. Every time we get together at the end of these past couple of years to look at our numbers, Jackie is in total awe of what I've done. And Corey, it's felt so good. I'm getting results for myself and my team. But unfortunately, I've hit a wall. I said, not enough challenge. She said, yeah, exactly. I just didn't find it hard anymore. It was too easy. I found the role, Corey, and my job is becoming routine, and there was no challenge. So what did you do then, Karina? Well, I remember what you said about transparency when I first became a manager. So I took that insight, walked into Jackie's office 6 months ago and told her that it was time for me to move on. I wanted to be open with her and say that there's no more opportunities left for me in this role. I told her that I was quitting because I needed to find a job that provided what I miss so dearly, a challenge. And I said to her, Jackie, this is not about compensation or salary. I've accomplished what I've set out to do, but I need to move on and fire that fire again. Well, Corey, Jackie was quiet for a moment, and then she said, you can't quit, Karina. Give me 48 hours before you do. I was shocked, and I agreed. So, Corey, I gave her the 2 days, and Jackie, she presented me with a brand new role, one with global responsibilities and plenty of fun-sounding challenges. Karina, this is incredible. I know, Corey, and the role even came with a higher salary, even though I said that wasn't really what I was worried about. But Corey, you know what was most important to me? It was just great to hear her tell me how valuable I was and how important my contributions were, even when we weren't looking at the numbers. She wasn't about to let me leave, especially not for the reasons I gave. Karina, that is incredible. And now 6 months later, Corey, I'm really happy. I'm not waking up every morning and screaming, I love my job, but I never get negative feelings about my role and what I need to do. I'm excited. My hours are reasonable. Most weeks I can slip out early if I need to one day and hit the gym or go for a run. And Corey, I spend my weekends with my family and I feel secure. So, what are my comments on transparency? Karina's story really shows us the value and importance of transparency and clear communication, but at all levels of the organization. Not only must an employee or a performer communicate what they need up, but we also must communicate down when our team is doing well, not just when we're looking at the bottom line. And if you're still not convinced, think about these numbers. According to an SHRM report from last year, employee departures cost the company time, money, and other resources. Direct replacement can reach as high as 50 to 60% of an employee's annual salary, with a total cost associated with turnover ranging from 100 to 200% of annual salary. And also, another poll showed that companies who had poor communication and transparency and didn't really connect employees with bigger picture found that employees were 3 times more likely to want to leave than those in organizations where there was excellent transparency and communication. So what does this mean for all of us? What can we do? Well, step one is become a more transparent leader at any level and simply follow what I call the A, B's, and C's. A, be approachable and accessible. Treat your employees, colleagues at every level in the organization with humility, interest, and respect. Employees will know how to act and follow suit. B, remember the big picture. Be good at communicating and sharing the big picture, the story of where we're going and what we need to get over. This helps employees connect the dots between their job and overall success of the organization. It keeps them informed and gives them the right information at the right time. And the C of it all, consistent and collaborate. Demonstrate integrity by talking the walk and walking the talk on a daily basis. Be open to feedback about performance, ideas, and opinions. You see, people have grown tired of surprises in this day and age, and they want to exist in work environments that allow them to have great clarity of thought by eliminating unknowns that continue to creep into our minds and can cause us to delay decisions and be concerned with success. When I've talked to new employees or new leaders, seasoned teams or seasoned leaders, beside the need for job security and career advancement, all of them want to be part of a workplace culture and experience that puts a premium on clarity and transparency. Both leaders and followers desire an environment that is proactive in sharing where the organization is headed, forthright about its future, and what we need to get there. In other words, they just want transparency so they can plan and protect themselves. Given this reality, everyone, the best approach to being transparent is to be ethical and talk openly at all times. So that's our podcast for this session. Please connect with me through our website, mycspn.com. You'll find information about our customizable learning and development options, consulting, coaching, upcoming events, and client success stories. All of our podcasts are on our archives page, so please go there to see what else we've been talking about. As well, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, as I said earlier, or email me directly at corey@mycspn.com. I love getting your thoughts, comments, and questions. And because community is key to our journey to leadership and life, I have a great offer for you, the listeners. When you post a positive review of the podcast, send us an email, what you liked about it, I will send you my CSPN Gotta See This reading list. It's a collection of books and articles, blogs, infographics, and more that I found extremely helpful for maximizing leadership, implementing management strategies, and delivering memorable experiences for clients and customers. So please post your review and I will send the list immediately. Once again, my name is Corey Atkinson, your leadership and performance coach at CSPN. I hope you've really enjoyed listening and look forward to seeing you on your journey to leadership. Thanks for joining me. Have a fabulous day.